Are you serious? Are you serious? This is insane. How can healthy be too healthy? How can green tea or Get the Tea or any other tea in the world be too healthy? This is an insanity, but it's actually an article that just came out today in Reuters from the European Union. Actually, the European Food Safety Authority is saying green tea is too healthy. It's not healthy because it's too healthy. What in the world? Listen, folks, it's time to bring in the expert, the main man. I'm sitting there drinking getthetea.com right now, and I'm going to bring in the expert, the main man, Ronnie McMullen from getthetea.com. Ronnie, help me understand this.
How you doing, Pastor?
I'm doing great. And this was breaking article today on the news. And I saw this and said, oh, my, we got to get Ronnie McMullen in here. He's got to help me understand, how can something be too healthy? What are they talking about?
Well, too healthy is probably the new term for if you're trying to be away from GMOs. You're going to be too healthy. Everybody that's on GMOs, and we'll talk about this later in the program with colon cancer and rectal cancer, and things are changing there. You kind of wonder where an article like this can all of a sudden pop up as healthy, too healthy. It's never wrong to be too healthy. So what I'm thinking is there could be a campaign trying to knock down supplements, nutrients, and not just supplements, but actually a good diet plan. Knock these all down, because if you get on these things, you're going to be healthier, which means you won't be in those long doctor lines anymore.
So in other words, yeah, it's because it's going to affect the sale of pharmaceuticals and different, it's going to keep people healthy. I mean, look, I've been hearing, and this has been a big push, even before Obamacare came in, about wellness, okay? We obviously want to take care of ourselves. We want to eat healthy, exercise, do all the things we need to do. And cancer's one of the leading causes of death, and a lot of them are from digestive systems. So what you eat is who you are. I mean, isn't that true, Ronnie?
Absolutely, absolutely. And if you read this article, which, see, this is the sad thing, most people won't read the article. They'll just read kind of the top line and maybe a couple lines past that. There could be a problem with green tea and blah, 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 blah. But when you go more into the article, it basically says most green tea extracts are running about 90 to 300 milligrams. And what they're talking about, and this is very comical, what they're talking about is 800 milligrams per day, not 90 to 300, which is what normal green tea intake usually is. So they're saying 800. Then they go on to say that even tested at higher levels, there was really no problem for the liver, there was no problem for the body. So then you kind of have to say, well, then why did you write the article? If it doesn't really pertain to anything, is it just gibberish? But it's not, because it's the first line. It's healthy, too healthy, and that's what they want us to read.
Yeah, and again, this is the masters of disguise. Again, they're hiding in plain sight. They want to continue this, and I think you're right. It's a campaign to constantly push people away from alternative medicine, alternative supplements.
Well, it's actually, it even goes further, and maybe, I don't know, hope I don't have the mind of the bad guy, but it goes further, because here's the thing that they look at is eating a healthy diet and supplementing is not always the easiest thing in the world to do. If it was, I mean, I would be so much busier, Pastor. I mean, I would just be like, I can't do this anymore because so many people, it's not like that. It takes quite a bit for people to really make a lifestyle change. Number one, if they're going to do any diet change or supplementing, usually people start with the supplementing. But a major diet change is usually because they're now facing the pearly gates. The death door is right knocking at them, and so they're trying to get their last time here. Well, the bad guys know that if we change our diets for the bad, in other words, if we continue to go to GMO places, fast food, microwave our foods, blah, 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 all the things we do, it's basically a guarantee, okay, that we're going to be sick. So now if all of a sudden we put out an article that says, hey, green tea, it's really not all that good for you, people get this idea of cheating. They get this idea, see, well, doing the good thing is not really helping us, so I might as well just go eat my big fat burger.
Right.
So it's actually they're playing with our minds. I think in a subconscious way, they're actually saying, cheat on your diet, cheat on your food, because there's nothing healthy for you anyway.
Yeah, they're trying to discourage or trying to discredit a healthy lifestyle, yet they run around preaching they want everybody to have wellness and, make sure, get these. Well, they want you to get these vaccines. Get these vaccines, Ronnie. You need another flu shot.
Well, this goes back to the Senator Pan in California. One, you have to be, forced to take a vaccine to put your kids in. So that's wrong. And now he's going to make it to where you talk about it, you're going to go to jail. So that they kind of gave away their position about vaccines right there. So you kind of have to say, maybe California is not my state. But with this being said, that's one campaign. Here's another campaign. How many more campaigns? And the reason the campaigns are going, in my opinion, is people are slowly changing their diets. They're saying, I'm going to do a little exercise. Okay, I'm going to have a little more vegetables than normal. And pretty soon when you start reading up on dairy, you're going to go, I want to eliminate all dairy. Most people have no idea that if you just eliminated dairy, things would change in your gut immediately. But boy, I tell you, the dairy farmers don't want you to be talking like that. And there's a whole thing where if you talk against certain things, and it's in the Patriot Bill, you literally can get in trouble for it and get sued for it because you're interrupting the way of life. And the way of life is not supplements. Those rules don't apply. The way of life is not, doing the right thing. The way of life is the bad thing. You interrupt the bad flow, and we're going to get you.
Folks, Ron McMullen's with us, getthetea.com. We're going to be taking questions. We're live on the air, and you can see we're taking the chat rooms live. And we're going to be asking, there's some questions you folks may have, and we're going to let you ask those and let Ronnie give you the answers. And anyway, go to his website at getthetea.com. That's www.getthetea.com, and find out about not only this great tea, which I'm drinking right now, which is delicious and great for you, but also he's got a lot of other great supplements that help assist you in this toxic world. Call the phone number on the screen, 928-308-0408. That's another way to get in touch with Ronnie and his folks at getthetea.com. Ronnie, again, colon cancer. You and I talked about this before we come on the air. It's a major problem, isn't it?
It is. And here's the thing that I want to throw out there. And, obviously diet is a huge part of things. Supplements are a huge part of things. But if you really want to get better, you need to change your diet. Now, here's what's interesting. When talking about colon cancer, okay, why are we getting cancer that's colon? See, everything starts on the inside and moves to the outside. So if you ever notice, if you have a bad day or something really upsets you, you're actually going to have a stomach ache, even though it's not what you ate. It's your worries. So your emotions are connected to this too. So now all of a sudden you don't feel good, whatever, and you're having this stomach problem going on, and you go, what's going on? Well, the things that we're eating, the GMOs, the different chemicals, we're bombarded. Most people don't realize that when you take a shower, you just got nailed again. And you go, what? Because there's chemicals in our soaps and our shampoos and all of this stuff. We are being bombarded all the time. And when you're standing naked in the shower, you're like a sponge. Your body is absorbing everything. So this is why when you have the wrong kind of soap or whatever, this goes immediately in your body. It's about 60% water intake when you're in the shower or a bathtub. So people don't realize this. This is why it's so important to have no fluoride in your water, no chemicals and all that, because if it's coming on the shower, you're in trouble. So we have all this GMO food we're eating, and guess what? It's got GMOs, genetically modified organisms. Now you're eating these organisms, and you wonder why you have colon cancer, because the food's going in your mouth and coming out the other end. And the same thing with all the GMOs, and they're going in one side, so it's going to wipe out that whole tract, which is your digestive tract, which is your colon, which is your rectal. And that's why, that's my opinion, why people, and when they flush that out, they're saying now that with colon cancer, that they need to start doing colonoscopies and checking people and everything else, not at 50, which was the protocol. They're wanting to move it to 40. Why is that? What's going wrong?
Because the food is not as healthy as it was when we were growing up as a kid, or it's not near as healthy as it was 100 years ago. I guarantee you that. And this genetically modified massacre. And then what about the chemtrails? I mean, you say we're a sponge. So I'm like, oh my Lord, what kind of shampoo? I mean, soap. But wait a minute. When I'm standing outside and the chemtrails are in the air, am I absorbing that?
Yes, you're breathing it in, you're absorbing it, and if you're talking, it's going inside of your mouth. So yeah, we're being bombarded all the time. Unless we're going to wear, like, Michael Jackson used to, and wear a white mask, that would be a way. But then everybody goes, what a wacko.
Yeah, I mean, folks, it's just incredible to me. And here's another thing that bothers me, Ronnie. They're calling evil good and good evil. I mean, the Bible said that would happen.
Like the days of Sodom and Gomorrah?
Yeah. So
are we headed there again? It looks like it. Who would have ever thought that would have been over food?
What? Let's go to let's find some questions, Ronnie. Some of the folks out there watching right now, they've got questions for us. I'd like to find out what those are. And again, folks, this is Ronnie McMullen at GetTheT.com. Ronnie McMullen, GetTheT.com. Let's see if we got some questions. Agenda 21, Ronnie, they want to know right now. Is that what we're dealing with? Is that why the EU had to come out and throw green tea under the bus?
I think Agenda 21, that's a bad issue, but I think Agenda 21 is just that. It's almost like by the time we learn that the name is the Illuminati, then they go back and they say they're the New World Order. And by the time you get to the New World Order, then they say, oh, we're this. And so I think names are just coming down. But the Agenda 21 is about the food. It's about shutting down the oceans. It's huge about shutting down the oceans. So a fisherman can't even go. That was always open territory. But they want to be able to tax things there. This is why all of a sudden, the deadliest catch, they only issue so many different, I don't know what you call it, but they can only fish so much. This was never the way of the world. Now it is, because, you can't fish in the ocean. And they say that they're saving things, but I don't think they're saving anything. This is all about them owning.
Wow. And Ronnie, are you concerned about, since you bring up the ocean and the fishing and everything, are you concerned about Fukushima and radiation from all of that? I mean, and is that a concern with the fish and stuff? And what should people do?
Okay, people will not agree with me, so this is probably where I go left field. But I think I did a study, and there's a guy named Windsor. Yeah, Galen Windsor, that's his name. You can YouTube him. He was a rare bird, but he built nuclear power plants. Long and the short of it is nuclear is not as big a deal as everybody says it is. Now think about this. Let's go to Fukushima. If Fukushima really, and they have not fixed it, there's still 300 tons of stuff going into the water every single day. So, and I studied this. So this is happening. This is real, okay? It is getting into fish. It's getting into all the stuff. The only difference is it won't kill you. Wow. And that's why you need to, radiation at certain levels don't kill you. So it's, and you'd have to see Galen Windsor to understand what I'm saying. I'm really doing the short version, and you don't have to agree with me, but it's a money issue. This is all about money. And that's what it seems to always be. Agenda 21, it's not about saving the fish. It's about money. Here's something, though, that is real. We, as a planet, are not sustainable. Okay, they are wiping out forest lands. They're wiping out rainforests, not for people, not to grow food for people, but for cows. So the agriculture is getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and we are not sustainable. We are not sustainable in the ocean with the fish. And this is what's really weird. I think there's a message being brought across here. I've recently had to change my diet, and it's not been a great thing, but it is what it is. And the long and the short of it is, they're saying that if we, right now, if we just basically took the property that we have, we could cut it down by like 18, the equivalent of 18, how do I say it? It's 1 in 18. So 1 acre for plant food and 18 acres for cows. And so we are only set up to be sustainable for plant food. In other words, if we were to have a plant-based diet, that's how we're sustainable. We are not sustainable in beef, and we are not sustainable in fish. There's not enough fish in the ocean.
You know, 3 years ago, my wife and I, we went to a Mensa conference, and one of the things they kept talking about, there's too many eaters. They said we're 7 billion people. We got to get back to 5 billion. But more importantly, they said we got to quit eating all meat and eat grub worms. That grub, they call it wood shrimp.
Oh my God, another organism.
Grub worms, and this is why you didn't get the T.com, folks. Are you serious?
I tell you, Pastor, the day I come on here and say everybody needs to be eating grub worms, you need to shut me down.
I mean, are you serious, folks?
I'm having a hard time with broccoli. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, it's getting insane. Folks, oh, by the way, you say, Pastor Begley, I don't like tea very good. That's okay. Get D365. Put that up there again, Brock. D365. You go to getthetea.com. Ronnie's got all the great supplements that really will help you get rid of those toxins in your body. Get rid of those toxins. And tea does that. It's an antitoxin for sure. And you've got it in pill form, don't you? If people would like to take...
I do.
Tell us about it.
You know, one of the things is I got to share this because it's kind of on my heart, exciting. I just started sponsoring a race team, and they race dune buggies called the Best in the Desert. And long and short of the whole team, and this was, you know, to sponsor the buggy is kind of a cool thing, but you can't make somebody take something. I won't do that. And the whole team said, we want to be on it. Guess what? They've been on it. Things are starting to happen with their body. They're excited, and they're strong, and they're going to win. So it's kind of all really neat things going. But what was excited me is how they all wanted to change and feel good in their bodies, and they were willing to use the stuff and be a part of that in a winning way. It was really cool.
Ronnie, there's a question in the chat room right now. Joint pain is there something that you have, a supplement or a tea that would help with joint pain?
Yeah, we have something called Joint Aid. It was taken off the website for a little bit, but I do think it's back on. If not, just call the number and we will make sure that you can get some Joint Aid. Okay.
And of course, diabetes is a big deal, Ronnie. I mean, this is a big deal in America. How do we combat that with some of these supplements?
In supplements, you know, there's many supplements. I'm kind of limited to what I can say because the diabetes is owned by the FDA. And so it makes it really hard, but I'll put it a different way. If you want to keep your blood sugars in the normal range, you know, and help them stay in the normal range,
right.
Gymnema is a wonderful product for that. Apple cider vinegar is wonderful because there's something called dawn phenomena. And dawn phenomena is basically when you go to bed, your blood sugars rise automatically. And so you kind of wake up with these high blood sugars. You didn't go eat a donut in the middle of the night. You know, you were a good boy or girl, but your blood sugars are going high. It's called dawn phenomena. It's when everything in your liver dumps about 4 a.m. And so you end up with these high numbers because it's trying to get rid of the glucose. Apple cider vinegar, a couple of pills before you go to bed, kind of really help keep your blood sugars in a normal range. So apple cider vinegar, Gymnema, nopal cactus, these are all things that will help you keep blood sugars in the normal range. And that's what's exciting. And I've got something new for all those diabetic patients out there, but it's not here yet. Oh. But it's going to be a home run.
So you've got some new things coming very soon that's going to...
Oh, yes. I got some really good... I've been working and working and working. And in fact, we're even getting ready to possibly bottle the tea. So we're really got a lot of things moving forward.
Folks, getthetea.com. Check it out. Ronnie McMullen, great guy, Christian company, and he's always helping people, making a difference in lives. And Allison Advanced. This is a great product. Tell them about it, Ronnie.
Allison Advance is moving off the shelves at such an incredible rate. And there's a reason. People don't buy or rebuy this Allison if it doesn't work. And you say, well, Ronnie, what does it do? Well, the main root of Allison is garlic. Now, we get scared of garlic because we're afraid we're going to swallow this pill and then we're going to be hiccuping garlic for the rest of our life, or it's going to go out our pores and we're going to smell like a garlic clove, and that's no fun. You pretty soon end up being alone. The garlic in the Allison is the healing part of the garlic, so you have none of those things that really go on. But what it does is help keep your blood pressure to where it's good. It helps that, okay? So keeps everything in the normal. It's great for cardiovascular. And it's great for, in my opinion, it's wonderful for just killing stuff, because getting rid of intruders, because when you take a pill a day, I haven't been sick. And so I start telling that to some people, and they start taking a pill a day, and guess what? They're not sick. So what's it worth when you're sick and hacking and flu and that's not worth anything. I don't like it. And you try Allison once a day, and oh my gosh, life is, it's way better. I don't like being sick.
No, no one does. And, you can't replace your health, folks. There's nothing more important than your health. If you're going to invest in your health, it's do it on the front side, okay? Do it on the front side. Stay ahead of it. And, Ronnie, do you have some specials at your website? A lot of times you have a big three, but what do you got going right now?
We've got the protein for the vegans, and that's kind of a cool thing, and it's quite a bit of money off, so you're saving quite a bit. You can put it in your protein shakes, that kind of thing, and you can get all the goods that you really need to be getting. There's a lot of people that are trying to go, and they're trying to change their diet. And let's say you're a big meat eater, and you're a big milk drinker, or you're just, and those are kind of maybe the wrong things. And you got to go, but it's hard for you to give it up. Boy, I tell you, I am there, and I just want to tell you some things to look forward. I gave up and changed my diet. Now, I went drastic, and there were some reasons for that. So I'm not saying this, but just so you know the realities. Cholesterol drops with diet. Weight, I'm down 14 pounds.
Wow.
Okay. In 2.5 months.
Wow.
So you don't rock, like blow out all this fat, but on the same token, you get rid of it at a slow pace, which is good. So you don't gain it back at a pace. And so the cholesterol, eyes clear, complexion, everything's changing because of, and this goes back to when you are doing more plants. So here's back up here. So here's what I'm saying is you want to do things slowly. And here's how the lines of really harmful things to you. Number one is not meat. Okay. The most harmful thing you can have is gluten.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
if you get rid of gluten, that's the number one inflammation crap that you got to get rid of. Okay. Number two, it must be meat now. Actually, it's not. Number two is dairy.
Wow.
Eliminating dairy. And I'm talking cheese, sour cream, milk, all that. Get rid of all that pasteurized stuff and remove dairy and watch things happen in your body. 3 would be meat. Okay. And then 4 would be eggs. So eggs are last on the list.
Well, they just recalled 206 million eggs this week out of that farm in North Carolina, Roseacre Farms in North Carolina, which 206 million eggs. Now, there's 27 cases of salmonella. So,
and here's another thing. Okay, we've been around the block a little bit, Pastor. So, do you remember recalls with meat and vegetables and salmonella and E. coli and all that? Do you remember that, say, wind the clocks back 30 years, 25, 30 years? Do you remember that going on?
Never happened.
So why is it happening now? See? And now we're a cleaner nation, and we do things, we're more sterilized. So why is it happening now? Could it be the food? Could it be the chickens? Could it be the beef? Could it be and maybe it's the fact that our beef, they're all standing on their own feces. Maybe there's something to that. And I could say the same thing with chickens. So is this stuff coming because we don't have adequate room for the animals to roam free to be natural? I mean, there's something wrong with that.
Well, that's exactly right, and it just automatically you set yourself. Look at this avian flu, Ronnie. I mean, these millions of chickens and turkeys and ducks have to be eliminated every day. You turn around, there's thousands of them somewhere in the world. This is your point. I mean, the land's greatly polluted in a way.
Yes, it is, and if we don't change it now. I tell you, it's really hard. And, there's a few documentaries. I don't know how they're getting out there, Pastor, but there's a few documentaries that are absolutely blowing my mind with truth. And, boy, when you see them and you watch these videos, you kind of go, okay, I get it. We are a visual people. You know, I mean, I've always said, this is kind of crazy, if we were there at the death of Christ, literally we were there, how much straighter a line would we walk?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, sight cures the blind. That's what my dad always told me. Yeah. To your point, a picture says 1,000 words. And
yes,
to be present, to actually experience something, to see it, it's a game changer. And you're exactly right. Folks, it's getthetea.com. Getthetea.com. Ronnie McMullen's with us right now. We're looking to see if you've got some questions. You can feel free and ask. Look,
make sure you say you listen to Pastor Paul. Okay, when you come to me, make sure he gets the credit. Okay, if you're because this is good. This is all good things because people, you're going to start helping yourself. So let's go here real quick. So if let's say you're on meat and dairy and you say, Ronnie, I'm sorry, I can't give it up, man. I just can't. I'm not mad at you, and it's totally cool. Then you really need to be supplementing. Okay, because you're talking 72 hours for meat to process through your body. Plant food's 4 hours. So if you're going to do the dairy, which can jack you up too, if you're going to do the things, that's fine. You really need to supplement. That way it helps you. And the biggest thing you want to protect is that colon.
Ronnie, are you concerned about the water we're drinking, even though it's bottled water?
Bottled water is some of the worst water. There's actually been some studies, and the water in our tap is better than the water in the bottle. Now, what's wrong with that picture?
And, that's crazy, but, it's becoming true. The studies are starting to prove that. I mean, yeah, you got Flint, Michigan up here with lead in the water, and I know that some of the cities have the broken infrastructure, but tap water is still the safest way to go in most cases.
If you have a good filter system, and tap water is fine, but just have a good filter system. It's funny, years and years and years ago, I used to work for the company Coca-Cola. And I remember when the water was starting to come in, I said, that will never happen. You will never be able to sell water in a bottle. That's the stupidest thing I've ever thought, because in the city, there was always water fountains. Remember that? There were water fountains everywhere. They'd always put water fountains, so if you were walking, you could get some water. But no, everything's changed. And guess what? It's billions and billions of dollars selling bottled water, and it costs nothing.
Folks, you know what? And another thing to do, I always tell you, pray over your food, pray over your water you drink, pray over the food, and you got to do it. I don't care what you do. Every meal, do it, and do it with faith. But at the same time, we got to eat better. We got to be smarter. We got to stay on top of this thing. And I think that's what you're saying, Ronnie. You've made some great points here. Tell us what else you have, products you have that you would recommend for folks at your website.
The biggest, always the big three, and it's always on special. You just go to the specials page. The big three is probably the number one because it's got the colostrum, and the colostrum is going to help with your digestive. It's got the tea, which is going to help you with digestive and also going to help you with your colon. And then, of course, Mr. Allison. It's going to take that Allison and going to give you some Allison. So, and usually I love those three products because they work. All of my products work. But those work now, right now. Here we go. Okay, this works now. And people like now things. They do. They don't want to buy a TV and turn it on next month. They buy a TV so they can turn it on immediately. So these are things that can work immediately.
And again, one more to touch on this EU thing. I mean, I understand that it's the European Food Safety Authority. And what they're saying is that green tea might be too healthy. And then they run these numbers, but at the end of the day, they say, but yet they have no proof that it could injure your liver or hurt you. But there's a lot of things, Ronnie, that we can confirm will hurt your liver and your vital organs. Tons of things. And that's why I think companies like yours are trying your best to help combat it. I mean, you're fighting this for us, aren't you?
I'm trying really hard, but the biggest thing has got to be in our minds that we want to change, and change doesn't happen overnight. These people that go, okay, I heard this, I'm going to be a plant-based diet and I'm going to take supplements, and they just go all the way. That's great, but the chances of you making it are slim. Where if you go slowly and you start seeing the benefits of each thing that you do, then you can say, oh my gosh, I did this and this is what happened. And I did this, and you'll also know each thing that's happening. So if you're going to keep meat and milk in your diet, I understand, lessen it. Start with just lessening either gluten or lessening, milk products, and then take supplements. And the more you get rid of the bad stuff and put the good stuff in, the supplements end up having superchargers on them, and they work even much better.
And folks, if you're eating kosher, right now you can't be mixing dairy with the meat. And there's a reason God set that up that way. I mean, obviously, it's for our own health, for our own benefit. And you just named the 4 things Ronnie said to back away from would be: number 1, gluten; number 2, dairy; number 3, meat; and then number 4, eggs, in that order. And what you're saying, Ronnie, the advice you're giving is don't try to just do it all one shot.
No.
Don't go easy, go slow.
I mean, if you can, great, but who can? I don't know about you, Pass.
I can't. Obviously,
it's taken me years to get where I'm going.
Look, I obviously struggle with my weight up and down, and it's because of my inconsistency of what I eat. If I don't get enough rest, I immediately gain weight, Ronnie. If I don't, and lately I've been working very hard, and I have only been sleeping 5 hours a night or whatever. And that's not good. It's not good for my immune system. I already know it.
No, not good. Now I know what to send you. Ocean Sleep, help you out.
That's what I need. Ocean Sleep. Really? You got something to help me with this?
Yeah, it's actually from the sea urchin, so it just kind of mellows you out. It's not like you're going to be knocked out like a drug or anything like that. You just it kind of makes you count sheep better.
Okay. Well, I would like that. So I appreciate that. Folks, again, check out Ronnie McMullen's website, getthetea.com. He's a great guy, great sponsor of our ministry. And what I love about Ronnie is no high pressure. It's all about just helping people, and you get to decide. So check out his website and be blessed. Ronnie, I got to thank you again for coming on, being with us, and helping us in these crazy times we're in.
Thank you so much, Pastor. It's always a blessing to be on the show. It's always fun.
God bless. Folks, we'll see you next time right here on The Coming Apocalypse.